Hey guys, how you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome to the very first Hawkeye Skunk Works car video, and I come to you right now from inside my 2002 Ford Explorer. Just kidding. Although I am inside my Explorer, this video is not about that car. I would not do that to you guys. I'm gonna bring you something much more exciting. We are on our way to the dealership right now to look at some brand new cars, and I will see you when we get there. Now that I'm at the dealership, you probably maybe got a sneak peek of some signage there in the background. We are at Zimmerman, Alfa Romeo, Fiat, and I will tell you right now, we're not here to look at a Fiat, although the 500s are pretty cool, and maybe they'll make an appearance in the future. You never know. This winter, I was at our local auto show, and there were two of the same car, brand new car, Alfas, at the car show. And I had been aware of these cars for a while because of just the things that I watch about cars online and on TV. And it never dawned on me, as obviously as it may seem, that they were at this dealership. Well, last week I was out driving around, and the dealership is kind of out of the way. It's on the outskirts of town. You have to come across the highway and down this weird industrial park with nothing else on it, really. Well, I just randomly stopped by in hopes that maybe they would have one of these cars. And 4 days ago, not only did they have one, but they had five. So now that we're inside, you get a quick glimpse of what we're here to look at. We are here to look at the Alfa Romeo 4C. So 4C came out in 2013, made by Alfa Romeo, obviously, which is an Italian company if you didn't know. The 4C is a four-cylinder, turbocharged, mid-engine, rear-wheel drive, two-seater sports car. It has a carbon fiber tub and a lot of aluminum in it, so it's extremely light. Weighs about 2,300 pounds. And the four-cylinder turbocharged engine is 1.75 liters, producing 240, give or take, horsepower and 285 foot-pounds of torque. So that will get you to 0 to 62 miles an hour, or 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in roughly 4.2 seconds. Now, if you don't think that is that quick, go out and whatever car that you own, and time your 0 to 60 time. So I'm going to open the door of one of these, and we're going to take a little bit closer look. So when I said it's got a carbon fiber tub, what that basically means is that the cockpit, if you will, the passenger area, is one big tub, and it's carbon fiber. It's based off of F1 technology. Let's get a shot of this carbon fiber. A lot of it's still got the protective plastic on it, but you can see it. The lighting inside is obviously not fantastic inside the car, but man, I think carbon fiber is my favorite color. Can you consider carbon fiber a color? I think I'm gonna go ahead and say that you can. Being Italian, they utilize some other electronics sometimes, so it has an Alpine head unit, leather dash, leather steering wheel. You can see it's got carbon fiber gauge cluster, and some of the options would be different on some of the other vehicles. This is probably my favorite one here. It's a dark gray. It's got the wheels that I like. It's got carbon fiber accents. You look down here, you will see your buttons for the transmission. This is a 6-speed dual clutch transmission, so it's basically manual transmission that uses an electronic clutch with paddle shifters. So you've got up and down. You can put it in automatic and manual mode, so it will switch automatically for you if you don't want to. Neutral, reverse, your low gear. It also utilizes what Alfa Romeo calls their DNA system. Let's see if I can get a glare off of the aluminum here. I apologize for that. We have dynamic, I believe normal, and an Italian word that begins with an A, and I can't remember what it is off the top of my head. I'm sorry. So that's what that is for. This one, as you can see, is what we would call a target top. I guess I'm not sure what the Italians call it, but hopefully the same thing. And I'm having a hard time coming up with some creative words being able to describe the feeling in this car. I've been in small cars before, but this is something totally different. This thing is the definition of cool. It's awesome. I apologize that I can't do much better than that at the moment, but some of the other things escape me now that I'm actually sitting in it. There's tons of leg room. Let me show you. I'm not a super tall guy. I'm about 5'11", but I am definitely not wanting for legroom. I just checked the seats all the way back. The leather in this car is like beyond anything that I've ever experienced. I've got some like canvasy type fabric there that's really cool. So on the wear part, so you're not going to be rubbing that in and out. That's really smart. The door sill is super high. You can see like it's right in the middle of my thigh. The pod down here for the buttons is like pass through here, and all your controls there. The floor is just carpeted floor mats snapped on top of the carbon fiber tub. I mean, can you get more Italian than that in a vehicle, a sports car? I don't think so. Center console, one cup holder. I'm surprised to see any cup holder here. Honestly, I guess that qualifies as a cup holder. Maybe a can of pop would fit in there. And your glove box here. Little pouch that you can put your registration in. And not much else, I don't think. Oh, it does go back in there further. I take that back. Which brings up another interesting point about this car. Since it is mid-engine, and I suppose I should explain mid-engine means the engine is in the back, but it's in front of the rear axle. So technically, the engine is in the middle of the car, meaning it's between the axles. It's better for weight distribution, which in turn is better for handling. And that's the point of that. The front hood, bonnet, if you will, does not open. It is bolted down. No one seems to know what's underneath it, but the car makers, the manufacturers, didn't want anyone messing with the weight distribution by putting a bunch of stuff under the front, apparently is the story. And so that is why you can't open it. So the only storage space that you have is a little bit behind the seat, and I'll try to put the seat forward and show you that. And there's a little bit in the back, which I will show you now. So here's the engine, and we have the trunk space right here. We got, looks like a duffel bag with what I'm guessing a car cover and some other Alfa gear. It's actually a little bit bigger than I thought. You can put at least a couple what we would call like carry-on size suitcases in there, and some bags. Here's the engine cover, because you can't see much of anything else. I have, from everything that I've heard online, these engines sound amazing. Dual exhaust. They have two different exhaust systems that they put on these cars. They have standard exhaust and what they call a sports exhaust, which I understand the red car has on it. And hopefully, if I can be super nice and convince these guys, they will cold start one up for me and maybe let it run and give some revs out of it. Obviously, I like these cars. Now, that being said, the price on these cars, 60, 70, 80,000, depending on how you spec it and where you get it, things like that, I can't afford one of those, certainly. And being that it's only a two-seater, I have two kids and a wife, sure, I could get it as a toy if I had that kind of cash laying around, which I most certainly do not. But I can definitely appreciate what these cars are and how absolutely beautiful they are. Cars just do not translate in video or photo to how stunning they can be. Yes, they're cool, but just the lines and the three-dimensional shapes of how they're made is not captured on film, whether it's still or video. Like nothing else on the road right now. And they are small cars, but they're bigger in person than I imagined. And like I said, you're definitely not wanting for space on the inside, because if you're buying this car, you're not buying it for the space. You're buying it because it handles well, accelerates well, it sounds amazing, and it looks amazing. I gotta say, I love the target top on this, and absolutely love these wheels. I'm not sure the name of the style of these wheels. Big brakes, big red Brembo developed brakes on these with the drilled rotors. And you know what? I just noticed something. This is the passenger side. In the bottom, behind the door, there is no scoop. But if we go over here, on the other ones, there is a carbon fiber scoop on all of them. It's only on the driver's side. I don't know if that's awesome or a little ridiculous that they didn't just put another one on the other side, but obviously there's only one because it's actually functional. Can we imagine something like that in America? A scoop on a car that is actually functional. And this is beautiful gloss carbon fiber. You can see the reflection in it. Let me just say, you can hear the turbo in real life. I can tell even as a passenger that the lack of power steering is like super connected to the road. That's awesome. Now let's wrap this video up, but before I bring it to a close, I do want to talk about something that happened that I did not get on film. And what happened was, I got to drive the car. And I didn't film it because, honestly, I wanted to concentrate on the experience. I want to concentrate on driving the car and just take it in completely and not have to worry about the filming aspect of it. I apologize for that. And maybe sometime in the future, I can get a more extensive driving review of the car. Now, that being said, in the clip where I was the passenger, you saw me comment on the steering, and I forgot to mention earlier that it doesn't have power steering, and that is to keep the weight down. But in regards to the weight of the steering and things like that, I may not have even noticed. Even at that slow U-turn that I did to turn it back around, it wasn't that noticeable, the weight of it. It felt perfect for the car. It was connected.
The response was phenomenal on it. And, you know, with modern cars and power steering, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're connected to the road. It kind of feels like you're steering through a wet noodle. And this was just fantastic. I mentioned that the turbo on it doesn't come across in the video, and it definitely makes turbo sounds, which is awesome. And I didn't know that it did that until I was there in person and rode in the car. It just sounds amazing. The exhaust, the turbo, when it shifts, it sounds awesome. Now, we just drove it in the normal mode, the natural mode. So it shifted on its own. You have to get a certain amount of miles in it before you can start changing the modes to more aggressive settings. And the shifts were super firm, and you know, it just, I'm having a hard time explaining it in comparison to anything else that you may or may not have driven, just because it's so different. It's like a go-kart. It's like a NASCAR that I drove mixed in one, but just refined and planted on the ground. There was some turbo lag in the mode that we drove in, but honestly, I don't care, because it was more of an event almost. You know, you step on the gas and you can hear it starting to surge forward, and then that turbo kicks in and just throws you back in the seat, and it's just definitely an event. It's an occasion driving that car, and it definitely was an enjoyable experience. I had a blast doing it. I didn't know that I was actually going to get to drive the car until I was there. And which brings me to my next point, that I have to thank Zimmerman so much for giving me the opportunity to go in there and film. I just stopped in there to look at the cars and got to talking with them and asked them if I could come in and film, which led to them giving me a ride in the car, which led to them letting me drive the car. And obviously, if you go look at a car like that, or these cars, don't expect that. I didn't even ask if I could ride along or drive the car. They offered that to me out of them just being awesome people. That being said, thank you so much for watching this video. I plan more videos like this in the future, and hopefully there'll be more driving involved and filming while driving, so it'll be a little bit more interesting than me just walking around the cars. I had a blast doing it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching it. Thank you to Zimmerman. Check them out. I'll put a link to their website in the description below. Check out our Facebook page, Hawkeye Skunk Works. Of course, check out our Twitter at HawkeyeSkunkW, or you can find us at hashtag Hawkeye Skunk Works. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more great content. I really appreciate you guys stopping over and watching this, and I look forward to much more content in the future. Thank you.